Okay, so this is gonna be my first video, and well, because it's the first video, I would like to explain why this video is being uploaded. And this really isn't for the public view per se. I mean, I'm not gonna make it a private video either, but this is not something I'm doing for the public or something for fame or something else, because I kind of really do not want fame but also want the perks of it. So I'm not quite sure about what there is that. But what is this channel gonna be about? What is this video, or what are the videos that I'm gonna be uploading are gonna be about? It's basically gonna be documentary of my learning journey. And what is this learning journey about? Well, everything actually, because I started working and I realized I want my life to be more than work, and work should be a part of it. Work is what I do to make my life living worth living. I mean, it's not all supposed to be work. And then I realized I like learning new things, and well, here I am. So this channel is gonna be about me learning different things. For starters sake, I'll tell you what I'm learning right now. Right now I'm learning martial arts, mixed martial arts, though I'm really more interested in BJJ. But then in the area that I live in, there isn't really a dedicated BJJ studio, and the place that I'm doing MMA at sadly does not have a partner for me to do be someone who's interested in BJJ. So I'm stuck doing it all. I like doing it all, don't get me wrong about that, but I think I have a preference for BJJ. It's just such a flowy sport, and it's just it feels so good to tap someone out, to get tapped. I mean, it doesn't feel good to be tapped out, but it certainly is better than getting striked at. And I am learning Greek right now. I'm not quite sure if I want to share the reason why I'm doing that, but it's just that there was some reason behind it, and I don't think that reason exists anymore. But I started it, so I'm stuck learning it. I'm not stuck, but then I'm not gonna leave learning Greek. And currently, I'm learning knots also. Why? I have absolutely no idea. Like, I have an imagination. I have actually a picture of what I want to do with my life, and it's something along the lines of I want to travel the world, and that's what I want my life to be about. But then I was also like, I like to travel the world by sailing rather than flying to places. And then sailing got me into knots, though I haven't really ever set foot on a sailing boat. Like, I've certainly been on boats, ships, various kind of water vessels, not a sailing boat, not for the purpose of sailing. So like, I'll learn knots and they're cool. And there was a few videos that I was watching about some things that you should know, and knots popped up twice, and like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna learn that. And I also have the 300 list. I don't know if you can see it, but that tiny list that you can see, it's actually quite big, and it has more than 300 things that I want to do in this life. It is the, I guess, Jake Horowitz. He's a podcaster, and he was the one who inspired me to make a list. And I was like, yeah, it seems like a good thing to live by, because if I think that I want my life to be interesting, I mean, there's not really direction to it. But then if I write down something that I want to do in my life, like this 300 list, it's a pretty good start. So it certainly gives me things to do when I have nothing in my mind. And I am planning to learn a guitar. Well, originally I was learning a piano because my cousin sister bought it, and I was like, okay, so, and she's gone to the UK right now to pursue her masters. So I brought over her piano and I started learning it. I'm not quite sure what you say, but I was like, I could play the C scale with both my hands, and I could read the music sheets, which was nice. But then I had to return the piano to her because someone in her family wanted to, like her mother wanted to learn it. So I was like, okay, gonna have to drop that. And then I got, like, right now I'm listening to them. I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, but still I'm listening to Manskin, and it's Mane with some sort of accent or something, skin. And it's a huge Italian a huge Italian band. And I just got really into their music, and I wanted to start learning drums, but drums are really too freaking expensive for me right now. Plus I do not have the space for it, because to play drums, like, this is my room, this is my small abode, and if I were to put anything in it, I'd need to remove a bed which is behind me, but my family doesn't allow me to do that. So I'm stuck not being able to buy. I mean, I could buy drums, but then I would have to shift this bed out, and we don't really have a place for it. So I guess I'm gonna learn guitar. I mean, I'm planning on learning guitar. Not quite sure if that's gonna happen. Yeah, I guess that's about it. I also do read books, and the first video after this is hopefully me going to teach, or probably me going to show that I've learned a knot. Right now I've learned 5 knots. Actually, what would be a better idea is for my first video to have something that I learned. So this is the rope that I use. Nothing fancy, nothing much. And this, like, is the most practical knot that I think I've learned. And it goes basically like, you can, and the great thing about this knot is that you could use one hand. I do not know the name of, I don't remember the name of this knot, but here is how the knot is done. So it goes like, you put one end over the other hand, then you catch this by a scissor, put your thumb in between both. Actually, I think it would be a better idea for me to show it to you like this. Okay, so you put your one end over the other, and this is how your knot's gonna be. Then you make a scissor and catch the other end, put your thumb in between these two, drag the end you put out, like on the other side, and cross it over, and then pinch all these 3 ends. I think it's 2 ends. All 2 ends with your thumb, and then bring the other end in a loop form, and then they tied this loop little. And then the great thing about this knot is that you can tighten it as much as you want just by pulling the bottom string, and you can just relieve this knot by pulling the end of it out. Ta-da! And I know you're not gonna learn it through this video, so I'll mention the video that I learned this from in below. It is the first knot of that video. I am yet to learn the other 9 knots, and then there were five more knots that I was told are basic knots. So one of them is the clove hitch, and it goes something like there and there, and yeah. Yep, this is the clove hitch. Not quite sure how clearly you can see it, and it's a pretty basic knot. I'm not even quite sure where to use it. And then we have the bed sheet knot. So it's basically this knot is basically used to connect two separate ropes. So you make a loop out of one end of your rope, but I'm gonna do this on only one rope, and then you put the other end in between this, shift it to one side, roll it down from the bottom, so it's gonna look something like this. And then the loop that is created when you put the rope, like the other end below the loop, and then above you put the end of the second rope through that, and you tighten it. Yes, so basically this is used to connect two ropes. This is somewhat, I think, useful of a knot. Not quite sure where I'm going to use it. Then another knot actually that I think is pretty good is the taut line rope. And I'm not going to be able to teach you this on the video because it took me a little while also. I'm not quite sure if you're gonna be able to see it on the video, but still I'm gonna try. You make a loop, you put one, but this is basically a knot that you use to tighten or loosen things, because you can just need to grab the knot by where it's thickest and you can just pull it out or pull it in to tighten or loosen your grip. So how do you do it? One end above the other, then you make a large loop like this, and then the end, and then you make a one loop inside this loop, basically inside this loop. You turn it around, bring it back, and then okay, actually I need more rope on this end. Yep, now that I do have more rope on this end, I'll start again actually. So behind it, and then in between this, above, sorry, and then you push that inside again, and then in the bottom of it, and you push it through the bottom loop that is created. Now you tighten it, and this is what the knot should ideally look like. Now you can easily tighten this knot up just by holding this and doing it up, going up, or you could loosen it, just hold there and drag it to the bottom. So again, I think this is quite practical knot. Then there is the figure 8 knot, which I think I'm gonna replace with the regular knot that everyone uses, because the figure 8 is kind of cool and it looks better. And how it's done is, you basically do the way you do the basic knot, but instead of putting the other end inside it, you wrap it around the bottom again and put it inside from the bottom, from the back of it instead of the front of it. And this is what the knot would look like. Again, a pretty basic knot, I love it. So these are 4 knots that I learned from the basic, and one other knot, which is I'm not quite sure what the name is. Again, this is only documentary for me. You make a loop like this, nothing, just a simple loop. You put the rope inside the loop, and then you get it outside, and then again from the back side of the loop. After getting it outside from this loop, you put it behind the rope, and then you push the end inside the loop again, hold both the ends that are above the loop and tighten it from below. So this is a pretty good I don't know, I mean, I could this is not that I can use in tents when I'm setting them up to connect them to the outside nail or whatsoever that is called. So yeah, I think these are 6 knots that I've learned so far. One is the loop, second clove hitch, third is bed sheet, figure 8, and dot line, and my personal favorite, just flip it over, catch one end. See, you could do this with one hand, and it's such a nice rope, such a nice knot. Plus, an added benefit of this, you can use this like a I don't know, what do you call them? I'm not quite sure what you call them, but like you could use this for carrying if you tie this to 2 ends, and you can use this like a handbag sort of loop, and it's easily openable. Again, just stretch it out once and it's open. This is gonna be for the video. Thank you.